guys, welcome back to my channel. I've got another book video for you guys today. I've got another reading vlog. I'm really excited because this one was a lot. So I have a very long video. I'm not going to talk too much, but I'm really enjoying the series. I hope that you guys are as well. I've been reading your comments of you guys saying that you're reliving it through me, and that just makes me so happy because you guys told me to read this and I love it. I did start the fourth one, but it's not going to be up for a couple of weeks because I've been trying to read it slowly. I went through these so quickly, but if you guys want to see book updates while I read, you guys can go on my Goodreads. It's just Keaton Milburn, or you guys can follow my book Instagram that I started. It's called Kiki's Book Rats. I post new books that I'm reading as I'm reading them, what's going on, what are my current thoughts. Sometimes I'll ask you guys for book recommendations, what I should read this month. It just has everything kind of in one place over there in my Instagram. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoy this reading vlog and let's get into it. First things first, I love Magnolia being friends with Tara. Like, I love it. I know that like we all hated her in the first book, and like I was talking poorly about her. Even in Daisy's book, I was like kind of talking bad about her, even though they had like a good interaction, her and Daisy did. I really love that Magnolia is not like just doubling down just to double down. Like, you know, when you just really dislike someone for no reason, even though she thought she had a reason, it was because she slept with BJ, but then you don't want to go back on it because then it like makes you look like, you know what I mean? I love that Magnolia doesn't care, and she's like, okay, you know what, we're gonna be best friends. And I love that she's with Henry now. It's like making me super happy. So that was the first thing that like really shocked me in the beginning. Also, the scene of Tom leaving Magnolia made me so sad. I feel so bad for Tom England because it's like he is so obsessed with Magnolia, and she's not in a good headspace. She's not making good decisions. She confuses me so much. Her immediately going and kissing Rush and like hooking up with Rush, I'm just like, at what point do you learn your lesson? Then I got to BJ's chapters, and this is where I kind of feel like this is going. I'm like worried. I don't know if this is going to be right, obviously. This is my speculation, but BJ's with a new girl, which just thinking about it actually makes me sick. Like, I don't know why. I just can't like get over it, because even in the last book, obviously finding out that he slept with her best friend, I'm like, he's disgusting. Every decision he makes is disgusting. But then seeing him actually go and date someone else, like, I'm like, no, you can't date anyone else. You need to be with Magnolia. Like, it's so twisted because I'm like, no, wait, like, I don't know. I think it's just because I'm reading both of their thoughts and I know how strongly they both feel about each other. So seeing him move on, I'm like, no, but she still loves you. I just feel like the trust aspect at this point is going to be so hard to overcome. Like, that's been their main problem. And now that she knows, like now that Magnolia knows that BJ broke his trust, her trust, in the most worst way possible, how do you come back from that? But he said that he's in therapy. So Bridget apparently like set up therapy sessions for him. And I feel like my prediction is like BJ is gonna like be in therapy and start making healthier decisions, not the best decisions, because even when he's with his current girlfriend Jordan, he's like kind of lying to her about the situation. She just asked why she's not invited to the wedding, and he's like, oh, it's just like not like that, whatever. But like obviously it's because he doesn't want her there because he's gonna see Magnolia there. And so it's like, I feel like I could see him changing and like going to therapy or like maybe making better decisions. I don't feel like Magnolia is gonna be in that boat. I feel like, this is my thing, Magnolia has been hung up on BJ for like her whole life, and while I don't agree with her decisions, like hooking up with Rush and like sleeping with these random people in New York and just like doing dumb stuff, I'm like, she's in her slut era, like let her live. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like she kind of has to go off the rails almost to like realize, I don't know, I just feel like that's gonna be her journey. Because BJ, on the other hand, has been off the rails. Like, we know this. Like, BJ has been being insane and Magnolia hasn't. So I feel like it's going to be kind of like a reverse situation where it's like Magnolia the whole book is like acting insane and like just losing her mind, and BJ's going to be like trying to be a functioning adult. Could be so off. This book is so big and I'm only 20 pages in. I just got to the wedding. So like they just walked in. I haven't seen Magnolia or BJ like interact yet. They haven't seen each other, but like Magnolia just got there and I'm so nervous. Like, you just know that feeling when you walk in a room and you're gonna see someone that you used to like talk to. It's just like, it's so awkward, and especially with their history, I'm so scared. It's also very shocking to me like how much her family is still asking her about BJ. Like, Do they not know that she's been gone in New York for like 10 months now? And they're just like, well, where's BJ? You haven't talked to him. Like, they expect them obviously to work it out because of who they are, which I find so shocking. I feel like the only person who's really like not about it is Henry. Like, Henry's the only person who's just like not feeding into the Magnolia BJ drama. I'm so scared because I don't know where this is going. I completely forgot that Rush even existed. So like, I wasn't even expecting him and this equation to ever be with Magnolia. So I'm just so confused. Anyway, I'm 20 pages in. I'm about to go lay out by the pool and read as much of this as possible. I will be back with my thoughts because honestly, 20 pages in, I'm already like, oh God, I can see where this is all going. And I'm like scared. I'm really scared, you guys. I have so much to say. I'm screaming, kicking my feet, giggling. I don't know what's wrong with me. I know. BJ was wrong. I understand. But he just walked up to Magnolia at the wedding. He said, how's the weather, Parks? I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass out because like, I would fold immediately, like right there. I really would. Like, I'm ashamed, but I'm not ashamed. He just went up to her and he's like, we really need to have a talk. I also am getting like more details on his therapy and like the work that he's doing. So now they're gonna go sit down and have a talk. I also just met Jordan for the first time, like had their interaction with BJ. And obviously I automatically don't like her because she's Magnolia, but there's no real, like, she hasn't really done anything for me to not like her. She's very chill, very go with the flow, like very much so. I'm waiting to see at what point she's gonna like snap because they had a brunch. So they had Christian's thing, which Christian is with Vanna. Like, why is he with Vanna Ripley? That's her name, right? I'm like, why are you with her? And it's irking me. Everyone's with people that I don't want them to be with. They just went to the brunch and had like this whole interaction with Jordan and Magnolia. And Magnolia's like hugging BJ and she's like, she's beautiful, BJ. And I'm just like, oh, poor Magnolia. Like, I actually feel bad for her because it's like, that is such a freaking punch. Like, she's not with anyone. She hasn't really found that connection with anyone else, obviously, besides BJ. And having to see the person that you're literally in love with a new girl sitting at brunch with like all your new friends. I hate this feeling for her. Then BJ took Magnolia out. They had their chat and he basically told her about why he cheated on her and kind of his reasoning behind it since he's like been working in therapy and what happened to him. I don't know what I can say on YouTube, so I'm not gonna like discuss it, but if you read the book, you know. So he kind of explained why he made the decisions. I'm not gonna lie, I do understand what he's saying. Like, I understand his points that he's making. Like, I made this decision because it was like a control thing. I didn't do it for any other reason than that. I wasn't doing it to hurt you, blah, blah, blah. I totally get that, but I'm not so forgiving in this scenario. Like, Magnolia feels immediately bad, immediately sick. Like, I feel bad for BJ for what happened to him, but I'm not immediately justifying the behavior. I don't know if that's wrong of me, but I'm not like fully, well, at that point, I was like, I'm not fully team BJ. Now I'm like, oh my God, I want BJ like to work this out with her so bad. And I feel so bad for her because she like leaned in to kiss him and then he's like, no, like, I have a girlfriend. And it makes me so sad because it's like, he is in the right. He should not kiss her, but he's making better decisions now. And it sucks because that's all Magnolia wanted, was him to like do those things for her and be that person for her and like work harder and make good decisions, but for Magnolia, not for this random girl, Jordan. Like, it like pains me that he's doing all these things, although they're right. I'm like, but you didn't do them for Magnolia. Like, every decision you made in the first book was to hurt her, like, purposely. And it makes me sad that now he's doing it, but it's for someone else. Like, that makes me so upset. So Magnolia went away. She went to Paris, had her little whatever, a couple days there with her friend so that she could like think about it. Obviously didn't tell anyone anything. And then she came back for December 3rd. I've been wondering since the first book what was so significant about December 3rd. Like, they met up and I remember saying, I was like, I don't understand, when did they plan this? Like, there was no communication shown, no talking. They just like both knew to be there. And I didn't understand what it was. Now I'm absolutely so shocked. Was not expecting Magnolia to ever have been pregnant and be much further along than like I thought also. And just the whole scene of Magnolia and BJ finding out they're having a baby, finding out they're having a girl. They had a girl and then they she had to get surgery because she had a miscarriage and like all of this stuff. It just makes me really, really sad for them. But it also makes so much sense as to why they're so deeply connected and like why that's her person for life, which when they just went and sat down and told their whole group of people, hey, this happened, me and Magnolia were pregnant, and he's being so supportive. He's like being so nice to her and like holding her hand while they're telling everyone, and she's like having such a difficult time even getting it out. It's like, it's so sweet, but it's bittersweet at the same time, and it makes me really upset for them. And I'm just like, there's now so many things. This just adds so much more to the mix. And then Christian being like, I definitely would have never been with her had I known that. And BJ's like, no, I know. So that's on Magnolia, because Magnolia knew, and she was with BJ, so she's questionable. Also, Magnolia got a job offer to stay in London. Magnolia's job offer to stay in London. Like, I was wondering what was gonna happen when she went back, because I'm like, oh my God, this is just, it's so much better when she's with the whole group of people. Now she's staying. BJ's so conflicted, which I get why he's conflicted, because it's like, am I gonna end this thing with Jordan? But I'm just break up with her. Like, just end things with Jordan. You are clearly not sorted on Magnolia, and you're like dragging Jordan through all of this stuff. Like, they literally just went to the club. I think that was the last scene I just read. Oh wait, no. Yeah, basically the last scene I just read was Magnolia at the club. BJ's there, Jordan's there. Magnolia is like blacked out, which is so funny reading her like be unhinged and be the one that's embarrassed, which is exactly what BJ's saying. He's like, it's interesting the dynamic when like she's throwing up over the toilet and I'm like helping her and like normal. So funny to me. Magnolia's like blacked out and she's like, do you want to go home and have sex with me? Do you want to do this? And BJ's like, what are you talking about? I told you guys, I'm here for Magnolia's slut era, although I only want it to be for BJ. Like, I don't want it to be for anyone else. Oh my God, Julian. I forgot. You guys know that like for a while I've been like really wanting Julian and Magnolia, even though now I'm like, I don't know if I like that anymore. But Julian came to the brunch and was like all over Magnolia, flirting with her left and right, and BJ was not having it. He's like so pissed about it. And I just thought that was interesting. He hasn't come back since, but I thought that was so interesting. And now Magnolia just told BJ, oh, by the way, I'm staying in London. And BJ's like, wait, what? And now she's super upset because his reaction was really not as like excited as she thought it was gonna be, but it's because he's so confused. He thought like, if she's not here, I won't have to worry about her anymore. And that's not what happened. So that's where I'm at right now. There's lots happening and I'm about to get to reading. I'm 15% through. Magnolia just found out that BJ has a tattoo of a dead deer on his chest, a dead Bambi, which is just why. Also, icing on the cake is that Tom has it too. And I'm like, you can't blame this on Magnolia. She didn't make them do that, okay? So I would be just as upset, especially his new girlfriend being like, oh my God, isn't this the best tattoo ever? Like, actually, no, it's not. I will kill everyone. And then she like left with Rush just to make him like jealous, but she's obviously not with Rush. And now BJ's like, I need to go get this tattoo removed. Like, he's losing his mind and it's killing me, because I'm like, yeah, you actually do. You need to go get that removed, because how are you gonna marry her with this tattoo on your chest? And he is debating on moving all the girls into their new apartment this weekend. And Jordan's like, but wait, we have a triple date. And I'm just like, Jordan, read the room. Read the room, girl. It's BJ's fault for not just ending it. But I'm like, clearly he's not that into you. Not the pity non-breakup from BJ. Like him going to break up with Jordan. I'm like, yes, thank God she's getting out of the picture. Her house is flooded. Now she has to live with BJ. I'm just like, girl, can you please leave? And can BJ please like pull it together? He just can't. He just can't. He feels so bad. It's actually so awkward. And then they just had the most awkward lunch of life, where Jack is here, which I hate that his name is Jack, because all I can think about is that baby from The Incredibles. And he just got here and just like took Magnolia away, and she's like, bye-bye, see you later. And I'm dying because as she left, Jonah goes, so I guess someone's discovered sex. Which is just so funny, because it's, everyone knows that that's not Magnolia. But when she went to New York, she was living. And so now BJ's like, wait a damn minute, you have a dead Bambi on your chest and you have a girlfriend. Like, genuinely, what is Magnolia supposed to do? I feel like she's done everything in the situation, literally at the club, do you want to go home with me? Do you want to have sex with me? Like, she, I feel like, has been overtly into him. She hasn't explicitly said like, I'm in love with you, because, you know, they don't know how to communicate with each other. He knows, and he just needs to end it with Jordan, because if not, she has no other reason to deny other people, you know? She almost hooked up with Christian in New York, and like, why did she feel the need to say this like at the moment? I'm just like, Magnolia, some things we need to keep to ourselves. BJ just brought her the little bow necklace that she lost, and I'm just like, I'm so sad. I just wish you they're just having like this little intimate moment. He just went to her on Christmas, and I'm just so sad because they so desperately want to be together. This necklace, this little necklace, they just so badly want to be together, and it's making me so upset. I think I'm about to cry. Like, I think I want to cry. Magnolia literally just ran to BJ's house to be like, I'm in love with you, told him she's in love with him, and he's just like, what? Like, why are you saying this? Like, absolutely not the response that she wanted. I totally understand he's confused, but I'm so confused by his response. Like, why is he being so upset with her? I'm also like, it is taken Magnolia so much to like say this. She's been trying to get over him for almost a year, hasn't yet, and she is not a humble queen, okay? Like, this takes a lot. And she just ran over there. I'm speechless at his reaction. Like, I'm speechless. The most outrageous conversation of all time just happened in this car for Tara's birthday. Her and BJ just got in this like huge fight because they're in this car, and he's like, so you told me you loved me last night. And she's like, I told you I loved you and you didn't say it back. Tara and Jonah are just like sitting in the front seat giggling. Now she's going down a list of everyone she slept with in New York, and I'm like, good for you. Like, of course BJ's upset, and he's like, I know I'm a hypocrite because like 7 is nothing, but I'm just like upset by this new version of her. And I'm like, the only reason this is a new version of her is because she was literally destroyed. I know it doesn't like make it right based off of what we know now about like why he made the decisions he made, but I'm like, this is the cards that you were dealt, okay? She made these decisions because of you. She didn't know why you made these decisions until after she made them. So I'm just like, you can't change these things now. So BJ, please grow up. Say that you love her back. Let's not play this game anymore. Okay, BJ needs way more months of therapy. He is literally facilitating this whole thing, staying in the same hotel room as Parks because he wants to so badly. And then he just like picks a fight with her. He's like, well, I drew the short straw. And she's like, literally, what is going on? Like, you facilitated this whole thing. You had Jonah slash the tires, tell them that there was only these rooms that you could be with her, and then you're blowing it. Like, at what point do you make up your mind? They just had their moment. They just had sex for the first time since she left him. And he's like, I love you. And while I am very excited, and obviously I was like, oh my God, bye Jordan, get out of the picture. Now I'm stressed. Now I'm really stressed. He needs to, if he doesn't end it with Jordan immediately when he gets back, I'm gonna throw hands, because that's what needs to happen. He cannot do this like, oh, she's still living with me, she's this, and then sneaking around with Magnolia. Magnolia, you are not the side chick in this scenario. You cannot do this. She's already done it because she's hooked up with him. But BJ, please have some common sense when you get back. I'm exhausted. Just as I was saying this is bad, Magnolia's now realizing she's like the other woman in this scenario, even though it is completely different. I do not, you know, abide by cheating. That's wrong. Very wrong. But I'm just like, you have been wanting this the whole time. You asked him to have sex with you in front of his girlfriend, and now you're just realizing that that was the wrong thing to do. I am so tired, y'all. I'm so tired. What is wrong with BJ? Every time I think we're making progress, like, he makes a decision that makes me want to knock him out. Like, Magnolia makes decisions too. Keep that noted. Like, I have that in the back of my mind that I'm like, girl, I really want to fight you. But BJ getting back from literally just sleeping with Magnolia for the first time, why in the world would your thought be, because you guys got in a fight, to go and sleep with Jordan? Like, in what world? Like, it's kind of proving Magnolia's point, like, that it's not a big deal. I know that it is a big deal and it's his like coping mechanism or whatever, but I'm just like, you trying to train your brain to like cope with sex is so insane. Like I hate it so much. And then of course, I just got to part two. Part two is just about to start. And Magnolia just found out that he slept with Jordan right after her. Imagine I would vom. Like, imagine the stomach drop in that moment, the sickness, the like throat closing. Like you would just be sick to your stomach to find out this information. I feel so bad for her. She's sobbing in the bathroom. She's getting up and now she's blacking out. Like not blacking out drunk, but like in her decisions. Like she's like looking in his face and she's like, it's done. Which this is the thing, is like Magnolia does things that are bad as well. Like her like leaving with Rush, but it's like she didn't even like do anything with Rush. Do you know what I mean? Like she used that just to like make him feel bad because like he had a girlfriend. So him being upset about her being with Rush, it's like I actually wasn't even with him and I just left with him to like make you jealous, but she's not actually doing those things. So her decisions are not as bad. His are always so much worse in my opinion. Like Magnolia makes really horrible choices, but the stuff that BJ says to Magnolia when they're fighting is so low, and I think that's what upsets me most. Like she says things too, but I'm just like, the stuff he says to her is almost unrecoverable. They're fighting right before she's like about to leave, and he said, you give Rush a call, and she said, he's in New York. And he said, she said, see, unlike some people, when things go astray for me, I don't just F the first person I see. He said, no, I know, you just F their best friends. And then he said, watch it, bro, she'll be coming for you next, talking to Jonah. It's just like, he goes so low and it seems so bad. And then in that last thing he said right there, she said, my eyes go dark, and if there were curtains, they'd be flapping. The water would be choppy and the animals would start behaving all peculiar, frantically searching for cover. Good, they should. BJ frowned, sensing the shift. He said, what's that face? Where are you going? And she left. And I'm just like, it's over for you. Like, you keep messing up. All you had to do was break up with Jordan. But also, like, Jordan just being cool with him having slept with BJ, that like really threw me. I mean, I knew she was like being this chill girl, but like I feel like now it's just very apparent she's using him for social media, which is like what he was saying initially, but I'm like, it's very apparent now that that's what's going on. So that's upsetting me. And then the first sentence of part 2 is in BJ's perspective, and it says, Julian hates throws these legendary New Year's Eve parties. I have been waiting since book 1. You guys know. I've been waiting since book 1 for Magnolia to be with Julian. I have been saying I like want them to be together. That feeling has diminished substantially after reading Daisy Hates books and after seeing all of like her and BJ's history and stuff. I'm just like, I don't think this is the best idea anymore. Like I'm here for it because I'm like, Julian's hot and like whatever, but I'm just like, at one point I just want both of them, or one of them. I just want one of them to decide, you know what? Maybe I don't need to get back at this person by being with someone else. Does that make sense? Like, I just want one of them to choose correctly and stick with it. They never will, but that's what I would like to see happen. All right, so she's hooking up with Julian. I knew this was gonna happen at some point because he hates Julian so much and he's like the one guy that he can't do anything about. But what's really bothering me is like, he just went over to the bar and he's like, I love you. And she's like, it really doesn't seem like it, because I'm just like, in his head, all of his thoughts about Jordan are an afterthought. Like, he does not care about her. He is not interested in her. He can only focus on Parks. And I'm just like, what is the point? Like, if you were so desperate to get back with Magnolia, like so desperate, yes, you messed up. You should not have slept with Jordan. That was literally beyond insane. But if you broke up with her, no matter what, like, you don't need a cover or a foxhole, nothing. Just break up with her, leave her, and just focus solely on Magnolia. If you put in the time to only focus on her, she will come back. She always will. It doesn't even matter what he's done. She will come back. Magnolia trying to win over Daisy is so hilarious right now. They're having this first interaction in the kitchen and she's like, oh my God, she's sad. I can go help her. And it's just like, Magnolia just cracks me up. And Daisy's like, I'm not amused by you, but she's coming around. She's coming around to this. And Julian is like so kind with her. I don't know why I like it. I'm struggling. I'm having a hard time. BJ just almost fought Julian in the club, and this is where it's getting sticky because Magnolia is doing that thing where she's starting to have feelings for Julian. I highlighted this little section. She said, "What I don't say is that I haven't left Julian's side barely at all, nor do I say that he might be my favorite oxygen mask to date, that I don't get tired of breathing him in. Actually, being in his atmosphere, like a small part of me really likes being with him." And so I'm like, I see you, Magnolia. She always gets this jealousy and this like little faint liking in the beginning whenever she has one of these foxholes, as you would say, which is crazy to even think that you're gonna like use Julian Hates as a foxhole. Like, he's so not foxhole material. But she just went over to Julian because he was making out with this other girl in the club, and she was like, this will never happen again. And Julian definitely enjoys that, but she also just told Julian in the car, like, if you ever hurt BJ, I will kill you, which is crazy behavior. Love her for it though. I'm giggling right now at Christian and Magnolia running into each other in the hallway in the middle of the night while she's with Julian and he's with Daisy. I cannot wait to get back to Daisy's book so I can get all of that from his perspective and from Daisy's perspective. But this is the first moment where Magnolia and Julian like are very cute together. Like, Julian's just being so playful with her, and I just don't know, like, I just feel like Magnolia truly confuses herself. Like, she's using Julian to get back at BJ, but then like every single time she finds someone, she's like, wait, but like I really like them. Like, Magnolia, like, now she's like actually having feels, and BJ knows this. He can tell that they're really gonna be like vibing, and so he's like freaking out to Jonah, which is killing me. Also, I'm kind of confused because Christian was just telling Jonah like that he thinks Julian and Magnolia are actually good together, so now I'm getting nervous. Julian just ended things with Magnolia. Obviously, he's having a little bit of a freak out. They were at like their restaurant or whatever, eating just them two on a cute little date. The power cut out and he freaked out. Obviously, he's freaking out because he knows like he has this issue where I feel like he just can't be with anyone because they're going to be in danger. So now that he's really liking Magnolia, he just completely cut things off with her because he's like, no. Like, now we're in a dangerous situation and she has to go. That's not gonna last long. He is going to come back around. But of course, Magnolia immediately texts BJ, but I'm like, you need to sit on it because you're really liking Julian and this is not good. Okay, it is much later since I've updated you guys, but it's been basically the same back and forth. She's still been with Julian this whole time, except for now Julian is like very much becoming super into her, which you can tell because now whenever he's with her, he's like, you don't love me, right? Like, he's just like double checking, but it's more reassuring for him. And now what just happened is Jordan basically was just like, I know that you're with Magnolia. I'm actually seeing other people. And so now him and Jordan are done, except for Jordan is still living at his house until she can move out of somewhere. So they're officially done. But now Jonah and Julian and all of them are being like super sus about like security and like watching Magnolia, which is why I feel like Julian has been being so weird with Magnolia lately. So they're just like having security people sleep outside of her house, and Jonah's staying over there and just like being extra cautious. So it's making BJ very worried. I'm very worried because Magnolia does not understand the full extent of what is going on with Julian. Like, she's very naive in a sense where she's just like talking to him and she's like, I mean, you don't actually like hurt anyone, right? And he's like, and me having read Daisy's book, I'm like, him like literally kidnapping children and like murdering them. It's like, you really just can't look past that, you know? Magnolia just walked around the corner to see Julian sleeping with this random girl while she was literally just like sitting in the other room. She was flirting with BJ, I will say. It's like so difficult for me to feel so upset for her, but I still do. Like, I feel so bad for her to have to see Julian like that because I get it. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, maybe she doesn't want to fully be with him, but there is something there. There's always been something there for Julian. She's always felt something, like even from the first book. So she can't deny that, even though she's like, God, I miss BJ so much. I want him to kiss me, blah, blah, blah. Her seeing Julian still hurts her. It would really hurt me. But Julian is definitely trying to convince himself that he doesn't care. But the fact that he just got in a full-on fist fight with BJ, like, I can't. Okay, BJ just kissed her and was like, it's time to end it. I have a very, very bad feeling because this whole book, Julian's being super weird and like protecting Magnolia. So I'm like, something is going to happen before she ends it, or she's gonna get kidnapped, or something crazy is gonna happen that's gonna keep her with Julian, which I'm very scared of. So we'll see how this goes. She's about to have her combo with Julian. Oh, Julian just said, you know what? I'm embarrassed to say that I've fallen into the ranks of men who find that there's very little that they wouldn't do for Magnolia Parks. She said, oh my God, are you being serious? He said he needed to feel good enough for you. Nothing ups a lad's confidence like fighting for the girl he loves. So Julian is saying he did that so that he would feel good about himself. Like, there's so many ways he could have done that differently. Julian is such a mess though. Like, I just know he's so obsessed with Magnolia and so in love with Magnolia that he's just being an idiot. I cannot wait to get to Julian's perspective. Like, I just know that this is what that is. And he's being a moron. Oh, she said, you are a very dangerous man, Julian. I know that, but I hope you know that above that and before that, you actually really are quite a good man. BJ and Magnolia being like friends is giving me the cutest scenes ever. Like, they're just finally being normal, which I know I've got like 50 pages left, so this really can't last very long. But it's really cute, and he's trying so hard to be so nice to her. He really wants her to like trust him. And I don't know like where they're going. They're going to some event with his whole family, and they just like kissed for the first time, and he was helping her get dressed, and it was just like the cutest scene ever. I forget when they're actually together and they're like this that I love it so much. I just know something's gonna happen. Christian had a sex tape released, and now Daisy's having like a whole fit. I love this scene though of Magnolia going to comfort Daisy. Their just interactions are so funny because they're so different, and I love the way Magnolia speaks. Like, I wish that I was as like quick as her. Like, it's just so blunt. I don't wish I spoke like her actually, but it's just so funny. It reminds me of like the way Lorelai Gilmore speaks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just very quick. I love it. It's the next day, but I've got about 40 pages left. So I'm gonna sit down, finish this book right now. I am buckling up. I'm so nervous. I just ordered the 5th book in the series because I have been going through these so quickly, as I'm sure you guys can tell by me uploading these YouTube videos. I've read like the first 3 books of the series in like less than a week, so I need help. But I'm really nervous, and I'm gonna start. They just ran into Pally, whatever her name is, and it was just like a very awkward interaction, but her and BJ had a moment in the car where he's just like, I need you to trust me. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to work through this. And she's like, I'm trying to trust you. And I feel like this was probably the most honest conversation that they've had in a while. Sorry that there's gardeners outside my home right now, but I felt like it was a very honest conversation. And he's just like, I don't know what else I can do. And she's like, there's nothing you can do. I just have to get past it. Like, I love you more than I'm angry at you, so I need to figure it out. Which I really liked that from her, because that was just a very good, honest combo. What I forgot to say is, as I was going to sleep last night, this is so off the topic, or it could be, or it could not be, but Magnolia passing out or like blacking out while she's been like sleeping with Julian, I feel like is kind of strange. And I don't know if that is going to come into play later. Like, I don't know if she's got like some condition. I don't know if something's wrong with her or if that was just actually from sex, but I was just thinking about it last night, and I was like, it's kind of weird that they've brought that up like 3 times now. I don't know if it's gonna be anything later on, but I find it strange. Oh, Julian's at the bar after she just ran into Paley, and he's like, I don't understand like what you guys are doing. And then he's just said, I didn't stop having the best sex of my life so you could go off and be friends with Valentine. You deserve more. She's like, what are you doing? And he's just like, nothing. And I'm like, he's obsessed with you, obviously. He only did that so that you would get back with BJ. Now you're not even back with BJ. But I'm like, what they're doing is healthy, Julian. Like, butt out of it. Her and BJ got in an argument because she's like, I don't understand why we're still friends. We should just be dating. And he's like, that's coming from Julian. He's making you say that. And then BJ says what he has been thinking this entire book, which has been pretty evident. He's just not said it. He's like, I don't trust you either because you left me. Like, I totally understand where BJ is coming from, because he's now having like abandonment issues. Like, every time Magnolia says something, he's just like, I can't believe what you're saying, because every time you say something, you do the complete opposite. He does this too, but I do think Magnolia needs to own up to the fact that like she doesn't stick to what she says based off of her pride. Like, her pride just gets in the way, and then that's when she starts making bad decisions, and so does he. Magnolia got in a car accident. This is not good. All right, BJ's on the way. He's on the way. Wait. He's asking to marry her right now, and he bought a place for them. He said, you're going to be my wife, have my baby, spend all my money. She said, I have more money than you. I'm sure you do after the house I just bought you. She She said, are you gonna kiss me then? He said, yeah, Parks, forever now. Oh my God. Said asking her to marry me was the easiest thing I've ever done. Easiest decisions I've ever made, and we're gonna call it at that. It was more like the undertow of the universe pulling me back to her. Okay, I just finished. I am so lost. Was not at all expecting Bridget. Okay, I'm not even gonna say the words. I don't believe it. I don't believe that Bridget is dead. She just went into her room. They like just had their whole little like spiel about, they told all their friends that they're getting married, and went into her room, and Bridget is like rolled over and not breathing. I'm so confused. And then obviously there's something going on with like Julian, Jonah, Christian, Daisy, like whatever is happening with them is truly bizarre. Also, for some reason, I don't know if I'm like, if I'm just thinking too much into this, but I'm like, was the car accident intentional or not intentional? I don't know. Just because like Julian's like whole line of work, I just feel like I was so worried about him being with Magnolia because I was scared that something bad would happen to her. So then Julian taking Daisy away and all of this stuff, I'm like, is it because someone tried to do something to Magnolia? I don't know. I'm like reading too much into it maybe, but like all of this stuff is just freaking me out. And now Bridget is like not breathing. I'm not saying she's dead because I'm like, I don't believe it. I have to get to the next book. But now the next book is Daisy's book. So I'm gonna start back over in the timeline and I'm gonna read all of her Christian stuff. Wow, this is a lot. I'm so confused, Nat.
No, like, I woke up this morning and read the last 13 pages, and I was like, what?
That's such a good idea, or that's such a good theory that she's poisoned.
Because everyone's acting so sus about Julian, Christian, Jonah, Daisy, and I'm like, something had to have happened where, like, someone close to Magnolia was like hurt, like.
Well, this is my theory. My theory, it was that the car accident was obviously not a car accident. The car accident was like someone trying to kill Magnolia.
Me too.
Like, that's what I think, which is why like none of them went to the engagement and then they like fled. Like, I feel like that's why like Julian like took Daisy and like left because someone was like trying to kill her, and that's why he like stopped like being around her or whatever. I didn't really think about the Chinese food. It's been a couple minutes. I've been like walking around stewing in my thoughts, so I'm popping back in here to say that I just had this realization of myself. Like, I was just reading BJ and Magnolia's chapters where he's like proposed and they're ready to get married and do all this stuff. And I'm so excited. Like, I was very giddy about him proposing because I'm just like, oh my God, this is what they've been waiting for like their whole life. But why does part of me not feel... Why do I feel unsettled a little bit? Like there's something in the back of my mind that's just like a little unsettled about the whole situation, and I don't know what that is. I don't know why I feel that way. Also, I just discovered, I thought the series was complete. I thought that there was 5 total books in the series, but I'm wrong. And there's more books coming out. There's another book coming out at the end of this year and then the beginning of next year, I think. And so now I'm like actually stressed. Because I'm like, what is going on? Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I'm gonna give it 4.7 stars, 4.75. I'm just taking a little bit off because I felt like this book was, there was a lot that I felt was like a little bit unnecessary. I feel like it could have just been a little bit shorter. There was a lot of back and forth between the Jordan situation with BJ, her situation with Julian. I just feel like that could have been cut shorter. Like there was at least 100 pages of this that I'm like, was this truly necessary? Maybe 50 pages where I'm just like, did I have to read this? I don't know. That's my only reason for not loving it as much, but I loved it so much. Obviously, I like literally read this so quickly and now I have to start the first one. I am loving the series. I'm so happy that you guys recommended it to me. I am in full Magnolia Parks mode, like can't get over it, cannot recover. And so yeah, I really, really liked it. I am quite literally going to go pick up the 4th book right now, and I will have the next reading vlog up for you guys very soon. I hope that you guys are liking these. Also, if you guys don't know, I have a Instagram for my book reads. It's called Kiki's Book Rats, and I also have a Goodreads account. You guys can follow me for updates over there, but I post reviews, TBRs, a bunch of my stuff over on my Instagram account if you guys want to go check it out. But that is pretty much it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading vlog, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!